glad to be joined with my friend Brian O'Neill from Winged Wealth Management and Financial Planning, LLC. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Chris. Doing great. It's good to see you again.
No, it's great to see you. You haven't aged a day over since the last time we saw each other, so you're looking good. Obviously that second post-career past the military, you're doing very well. So let's talk about a couple things. One, where are you from and what did you do in the Air Force?
I am from Overland Park, Kansas, kind of just outside of Kansas City, and spent 23 years in the Air Force, about 2/3 of it flying F-16s and the last third flying F-35s.
That's great. And so when you were flying that aircraft, did you have a visualization of what you want to do in your post-military career? And what's been your journey, as you left uniform service to now, doing what you're doing in the financial industry?
Yeah, I think the shortest version of that is that in the 08, 09 financial crisis, I got burnt pretty bad with being underwater on a house. And that had me going to school on, hey, what did I not know about personal finance that I wish I would have known? And the more I got involved with that and the more I found myself helping others, I kind of found a virtuous circle where I really enjoyed learning more and I really enjoyed helping others. And so when I was looking at what to do after the Air Force, kind of one thing is defense contractor, another is airline pilot, and a third is, make your own way. And I looked back on what gave me the most energy, and made me feel like I was helping people that I could envision doing for another 20 years. And this was it.
That's awesome. And so it sounds like a lot of self-study, obviously. And with your company, are you growing? How are you getting clients? Are most of your clients former service member or service members? Like who's that client that you want to work with?
Yeah. So I do work primarily with military and veteran families. I have a couple families that don't have much in the way of military affiliation, but most of my families are either within a couple years of retiring or they've recently retired. And so, complexity has grown in their life. The mistakes feel like they could have zeros behind them, or, they get investing, but the taxes are starting to catch up with them. So yeah, my firm has been open for just under 4 years now. And it's, growing at the rate that I choose to grow it, which is kind of nice.
That's great.
And so, yeah, really enjoying it.
So obviously there's a lot of big companies in this space, and obviously everybody, but unfortunately some folks don't have a financial advisor. What's your advice to, us service members that are currently in or those that have left service? Why do they need a guy like Brian?
I think the vast majority don't need to pay for advice, but they also should be wary of anyone who says that they don't have to pay for advice and is actually just a salesman pretending to be a financial advisor. When you first start out, what you really need to do is live within your means and save in a reasonably aggressive manner, probably in the TSP and maybe in an IRA as well. And you can get the knowledge that you need for that generally at your installation's personal financial counselor. Clearly, online information can be fraught. But it is when you start to realize that, hey, I'm paying a tax bill today that is bigger than what I remember my salary being not too many years ago, that it starts to be kind of nice, or you just realize that you might like to explore some different challenges or opportunities in the future, and you need help exploring how all of your decisions integrate together. And that's where someone who does comprehensive financial planning really helps out. But yeah, unfortunately for a lot of folks in the military, there's institutions that have a heritage of, hey, we help the military. Their way of helping people is often selling products that aren't necessarily in the folks' best interest.
Yeah. So with some of your clients, or just the past that you've seen, what are some of the big mistakes that service members, either in or former veterans now, some of the big mistakes they need to watch out for as they come to somebody like you and they, hey, Brian, I need help?
Yeah. The easy-ish ones as far as mistakes are spending more than you earn. So, if you're carrying a balance on a credit card, that's bad news. Having expensive new vehicles, vehicles go from point A to point B, they're all safe enough. So suppressing those consumption costs early. Getting into real estate thinking that step one is buy property, step three is make profit. Turns out, step two is pretty complex and it doesn't always work out for everyone. So real estate can be problematic. And then I think not choosing or not getting smart on using the TSP and basic tools like an IRA until you're in your 30s and 40s. Like you lose a lot of decades for compounding. So those are the other mistakes to watch out for. The rest of the list is long and distinguished, as they say.
No, that's great. Hey, Brian, thank you for your service. Thank you for your family and their support of you and through the last couple of decades of war and what you did to support our ground forces. And no doubt, thank you for what you're doing in your post-military career. You're still helping out veterans and service members, so I applaud you for that. And I look forward to catching up in the future and seeing how you continue to grow your business and sustain helping those veterans. So, hey folks, if you like what you heard, follow us on LinkedIn. Thanks Operation Barnabas for sponsoring this segment. Also, take a look at Winged Wealth Management and Financial Planning LLC. Go and Google it, look up Brian, and see what the great things he can do for you to increase your wealth. We'll see you at our next segment.
Operation Barnabas is a veterans ministry, started in 2017 with the purpose of helping our veterans that kind of got left behind.
These people went over and went to war for us, and a lot of their friends didn't come back, and that's a lot of the stuff that we as veterans deal with is there's a lot of people that didn't make it back, and then it's like, why are we here? So then they isolate. And they've struggled with addictions, PTSD, suicidal thoughts, those kind of things, helping them get whole again through one-to-one mentorship. So being able to communicate with them and help them can drastically change their life, can drastically change a family's life. The little that we can do is put our hand out and say, hey, do you want a hand up? Like, we're not giving a hand out. Do you want a hand up? And just be able to be there with them and do life with them and just be able to help them, because man, they put their life on the line for you and me.